So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So guys, I've just seen the Canelo Yildrim fight. I didn't watch it live. I got up in the morning and had a quick look, the 3 rounds that it went. And Canelo did what he had to do. He battered Yildrim. It was a fight, like I said, it wouldn't be a great fight. And it ended up a round quicker than I predicted. I expected Canelo to knock him out in the 4th. But, you know, the corner pulled him out in the 3rd. He was hurt, I believe, in the 3rd round. He got hit with a right hand. He went down, and I think Yo Diaz, you know, saw that this isn't a fight. This is very, very dangerous, and it's one-sided, and it's only going to end with Yildirim in big trouble. Probably going to end with, you know, it can become dangerous, you know, when a fight such a big mismatch. It was so comfortable for Canelo in there. He was doing what he wanted, whenever he wanted. And I said that I don't mind Canelo taking this fight. It's a mandatory. And it's an easy fight for him, a fight that, you know, he wins. And listen, he's going to fight Saunders. I'm going to do another video about that in the next video that I do, Canelo v Saunders. But he's going to have 4 fights this year. He just fought Callum Smith, you know. But Canelo's making it look so easy when we made it look so easy against Callum Smith that it just made it becomes, people start calling him a cherry picker, even though Canelo's not. Canelo's got a great resume, fought some great fighters. And people always look to make out like, you know, he's fighting nobodies. And listen, Yildirim wasn't a strong opponent. And on hindsight, I don't think Canelo should be fighting guys like Yildirim, and I think they should make exceptions. I'll tell you why. Because even though I don't think it's wrong for him to fight Yildirim because of who he's going to be fighting next and after that, but people want, for me, he's going to beat Saunders. When he beats Saunders, people are going to say exactly the same thing about Saunders. Don't get me wrong, they rate Saunders higher than Yildirim, but they're going to say Saunders was a cherry. You know, you never, you know, this fight with Saunders is going to be hyped up. And then if Canelo wins like most expect him to, they're going to say, well, Saunders wasn't that good anyway. You know, like they do with like they do with all Crawford fights. You know, before the Khan fight, they was hyping the Khan fight up. It's going to be a great fight. Crawford wins. Oh, well, Khan was no good. Same with the Kell Brook fight. They were hyping the Kell Brook fight up before the Crawford fight. Oh, Kell Brook's going to do it. And then Crawford beats him. Oh, Kell Brook was a bum. Or he was washed up. Like they said with Khan, he was washed up. So my point here is that Canelo's never going to get credit. It doesn't matter who he fights. Someone else's favorite fighter is going to say he's not fighting him. If he fights Billy Joe and beats Billy Joe, right, there's going to be fans of Charlo that are going to say, well, he's not fighting Charlo. But here's the problem I have with Yildirim fights, right, is that I don't think Yildirim had any chance to win. I don't see what Yildirim could have done to win the fight. I didn't think he had a chance. Even before the fight, you know, you can't really see him having a chance. And when you're the biggest star in boxing like Canelo Alvarez, right, there's a lot of eyes that are watching. And when they see that, they think to themselves, you know, this is the biggest star in boxing and he's fighting that. He's fighting a guy that's couldn't beat him. Like Teddy Atlas said, when's the next UFC fight? He was trolling because basically it's basically saying that this is no point watching this. No point watching this because it's not really a fight. It's not a fight that Yildirim can, like, it wasn't competitive. It was terrible. It was terrible, right? Just like the Rocky Fielding fight was terrible. And I don't, listen, I'm not going to go at Rocky Fielding or Yildirim because, listen, all fighters deserve respect. It's just that it was so badly mismatched. Like, these guys are big guys. These guys are big guys. Right? They're not putting up any kind of test. They're not even competitive 1 second, right? It wasn't competitive. It wasn't competitive 1 bit at all. Right? And I didn't see how Rocky Fielding or Yildirim can win the fights. And I think for Canelo, he's such a big star and so many people watch his fights. When he fights guys like that, even though I don't think it's wrong because of the quality of opponents he fights on a regular basis and the fact that he's going to be fighting 4 times a year, you can't expect 3 killers. And it was his mandatory. He had to fight him. I get that. But somehow I think they need to find a way to, for a star like Canelo, these mandatory fights should, be examined, because at the end of the day, if he beats someone like Yildrim easy, it's not a good look. It's not a good look when a guy gets beat like that. Because let's be honest, stern fighters wouldn't be getting beat like that. If you look at all the credible names that Canelo fought, none of them got beat like that. Even if they might have got knocked out, right? They didn't get beat like that. They were competitive. They were competitive. And this wasn't this was a fight which unfortunately wasn't competitive, right? It wasn't competitive, right? Amir Khan was a light welterweight, right? Really, if you look at it, he was unified champion at light welterweight, right? He was winning majority of the rounds up before he got knocked out against Canelo. Yet Yildirim is, how much bigger is he compared to Khan? Way bigger. The Amir Khan fight was a more competitive fight up until he got stopped. Don't get me wrong, Khan's a better fighter than Yildirim, but what I'm trying to point out is that he was a light welterweight. This guy's a super middleweight. So surely if there's some alarm bells there that if a light welterweight is putting up a better fight than a super middleweight, it tells you the level of opposition. Because let's be honest, no one can say that the Amir Khan and Canelo fight wasn't more competitive than this fight. Most people had Khan up when he got stopped. This guy was lost every second of every round, and it didn't look like a fight, I remember watching that fight and watching even the Cotto fight. Cotto and Khan. He fought Cotto and then fought Khan. Those were fights where you were on the edge of your seat, like, whoa, what's going on? Like, is Cotto winning this? Is Khan ahead here? And then stop it. At least the fight had us enthralled and intrigued. This was like, when you're watching this, it was like watching, like, something that, what is this? Like, watching with more like, the end result. It was more like a sparring session where you knew that this is not a fight. This is not competitive one bit. There's nothing Yildirim's bringing to the table that's giving Canelo any issue. He's beating him comfortably. And listen, I've said Canelo's so great that for me, he's going to do that to a lot of top level world champions. He's going to do that to, let alone guys like Yildirim. He's good. Like Yildirim, guys like that would get wiped away by Canelo because Canelo's too good. He's the best in the world for a reason. He's a great fighter. You've got to give guys like Avni Yildrim respect. They're fighters. They bring it, he trained hard and he brought his best. But unfortunately, fighting Canelo, you need to be very skilled. You need to be very skilled and very good. If you ain't that, you're not beating him. You're not going to beat him. And unfortunately, Avni Yildrim, for me, doesn't have the kind of skill set that to even cause Canelo any issue. And I think we saw that. Canelo's just too good. He's too strong. He punches too hard. And he was always going to win this fight quite comfortably. And, Chris Eubank was saying if he's pound for pound, he'll beat him quicker than I beat him. Well, he did. And he did it in a way where it was such a bad beat and the corner pulled him out. And the fact that I think although Ho Diaz was talking a big game before the fight, I think they knew that if this fight gets messy, we'll have to be looking to pull him out. And after the third round, Ho Diaz was telling him that you've got to show me something. You've got to show me something. Otherwise, I'm going to pull you out. You've got to show me something or I'm going to pull you out. And he didn't get a response from Avni Yildrim because Avni Yildrim was out of his depth. And I think it was a right call. It was a right call to pull him out because all would have happened is he would have gone in there and taken more of a beating. And I could see when Ho Diaz was telling Avni Yildrim that I'm going to give you one more round, you could tell that there was no response. Avni Yildrim didn't really want to go back out there because there was no response from him. He was quiet. He didn't say anything. I think you could tell that I think his corner had to save him, and Ho Diaz being the experienced guys. Listen, Ho Diaz, when he was saying it's a 50-50 fight, Ho Diaz knows his boxing. He rates Canelo very highly. He knows what his man was capable of, and he knows that probably before the fight that they weren't going to win. But again, as a trainer, you're going to big up your guy. You're going to try to boost up his confidence. And even if Avni Yildrim went in and put up a fight, or put up some kind of fight, he'd get fights in the future. But that was so poor that, that's hurt Avni Yildrim's stock, really. Not to say that he was some kind of great fighter before this. What I'm saying is that, if a guy like Avni Yildrim goes in there, puts in a stern fight where he goes 9-10 rounds and puts it on Canelo, he could get future, he could definitely get future fights against credible opponents. But now it's like the guy didn't even put up any kind of test. It was a one-sided beatdown, and the way the fight ended is never a good look. So yeah, I think these fights for Canelo should be looked into, just because of the fact that, because he's such a big star, right? Because Canelo's such a big star and such a big attraction, people looking at that are going to be kind of turned off, be like, what's this? But I can understand, being a hardcore boxing fan, I can understand why Canelo he's a mandatory challenger. It's a knockover fight where it's a fight where, it keeps Canelo active. He wants to fight 4 times a year. You ain't going to fight 4 tough opponents. That takes a lot out of you. Canelo's already had a very tough career. He's already been in there with a lot of been in a lot of tough fights. Jacobs went the distance. Golovkin 2 times was a tough fight. Cotto was a very physically absorbing tough fight. He's had some really tough fights. Although Mayweather beat him down, it was tough fights, man. He's been in a lot of tough fights. So, even the Kovalev fight went 11 rounds, and Kovalev was, it was neck and neck for me up until Kovalev got stopped. Neck and neck. So, if I'm totally honest with you, I think the Avni Yildrim fight wasn't a bad fight for Canelo. The fact that Canelo's going to be fighting 4 times a year, and you got to respect that, because there's not many top level guys, pound for pound guys, that would be wanting to do that, fighting 4 times a year. But then again, you've got to kind of balance it, because there's a lot of people that watch Canelo, and a lot of people now I've seen online saying, oh, Canelo's a cherry picker, this, that. I don't think he's a cherry picker, because like I said, he's going to be fighting Saunders next, and then after that, he's going to be fighting Plant. That's not a cherry picker. That's fighting the guys that are champions in the division. So that, to me, is not a cherry picker. Some people say, well, he's cherry picked the easiest division to win undisputed. That doesn't work like that. You can't just cherry pick to become an undisputed champion. It doesn't work like that. So like I said, I've got a massive amount of respect for Canelo. I think he's the best fighter in the world. I don't think it's close. I think he's so good. And I don't think anyone's going to beat him anytime soon. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What did you make of the fight? What did you make of Canelo's performance? What did you make of Yildrim's performance? Leave your thoughts. What do you make of fights like this? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.